Hello everybody and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Guapish Rule 34. As always, I'm your host Tanner, and today I am joined by the funkiest monkey in the jungle, Nico.
Guys, Jackson's currently sitting right next to me as we're recording this, and he just keeps opening and closing a switchblade. I don't really know what to do about this. I don't feel particularly safe.
Also joining us, number one switchblade enthusiast, Jackson. Oh, now he's cutting himself. Look what you did, Nico. And finally joining us, the 51st character in Mario Kart World, Dylan.
Hey, we're here to drive carts around the world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and this today we're just going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2.
Holy smokes.
Giving our opinions and thoughts and whatnot on them.
Do we even have any opinions or thoughts that aren't just going to be getting regurgitated from some random political pundits?
Why don't you stop being so gay?
That's fair, I suppose.
Yeah,
Damn.
bitch, shut up.
Oh my.
I guess let's start with everyone's like overall thoughts on the Nintendo Switch Direct, we'll say. Nico, you start.
It looked very cool. There were a bunch of fun games getting shown off. The Switch 2 itself looks pretty neato. I thought it was a pretty solid Direct all around.
Nice. I agree as well. I thought it was very solid Direct. I am so happy that they kept it pithy. They didn't do any like 4-minute gameplay segments or anything. It was like almost exclusively like, I don't know, 45-second trailers for all the games they were showing, and so it moved nice and quick, which I really appreciated. Jackson, what about you?
Yeah, I think the console looks good. I am definitely wary of its pricing. I do think it's got some interesting features, like the digital trading of like digital cartridges looks interesting, and I do like the backwards compatibilities. But yeah, generally wary of the economics of it.
That's fair enough. And Dylan, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I did delve into it a little more because I was also curious. I've kind of been tossing it around because $450 is, depending on how you view the Switch, quite a bit for a handheld console. Now, people could make the argument that, well, you could plug it into your TV, so it's not a handheld console. I mean, there's a lot of resources and shit that go into it, but, like, I even looked, what was it, the fucking camera that they were advertising? I think that shit was, like, $50. Joy-Cons are, like, $90 now. The Pro Controller's, like, $80. So it's definitely gonna be, like, an expensive upgrade if you already have a Switch. So this is definitely more appealing to people who maybe don't have the console, but overall I was very, very intrigued by the whole thing. I think it's got an astounding lineup of games coming out, and it's got a lot of really neat features and, you know, just accessibility options and, you know, quality of life upgrades.
The price didn't really scare me that bad.
I think $450 is perfectly reasonable for it.
Yeah,
I was kind of just like, that's where we're at. And like, as far as I'm aware, it's like it's not like, how do I want to phrase this? As far as I'm aware, it's fairly comparable to like a Steam Deck, maybe a bit worse.
Yeah. And
it's like it's basically what, like $200 less than that, so...
Dude, you don't have Steam, so of course it's worse than a Steam Deck.
You can get a Steam Deck for like $400, so it's cheaper.
Oh, okay.
Or the Steam Deck's cheaper.
Yeah.
But also, the Steam Deck's being sold at a decent loss.
Oh, gotcha.
Oof. I mean, on top of that too, like, some of the features that are probably worth mentioning on the Switch 2 is it does play in 4K. You have to sacrifice FPS for that, though, or vice versa. You could play at 120 FPS and you play at a lower quality. I do like that they are giving the older games some nice treatment. It's kind of like what Xbox did. I don't know if PlayStation did. I can only assume that they did.
Yeah, everyone
everything
did that.
Yeah. They do.
But you have
Joy-Cons,
to fucking pay for it is the thing here, Dylan. If you want to get those enhancements for the games that you had previously, you gotta pay for that shit.
But did you happen to, like, see... that was one of the things I forgot about. Did you happen to see what, like, their quote-unquote, like, upgrade packs cost for those, by chance?
I heard rumors $10, but I don't think it's been confirmed at all anywhere.
See, that's not terrible. I mean, yeah, obviously you'd basically have to pay for playing the game again, but $10 wouldn't be bad. But as far as like when I was talking about like quality of life, like upgrades and everything too, and accessibility, I like what they did with the Joy-Cons like addition. Like you're able to use the Joy-Cons as mice. I thought that feature was pretty cool, and it looks like they're integrating it into a lot of their games, which will be interesting to see, and I can only hope that that trend keeps up.
I agree. I think the mouse functionality is very interesting. From what I've heard, it actually works fairly well. So like playing like Metroid, people said it feels actually good using the thing like a mouse. Or they showed off Civilization 7. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
That's the type of game where I'm like, okay, yeah, being able to use your controller like a mouse, that is the kind of game where that's like pretty massive, because like, Christ, I would not want to play an RTS on controller.
It's not an RTS, dude. It's not real-time strategy. It's turn-based, but I have played Civilization 6 on a controller, and it definitely leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, it's a bit rough, I agree. I mean, and what also kind of astounded me the most, too, is all the games it is capable of running, because as we've maybe some of us experienced in the past, the Switch itself has not been up to snuff for running some of its own titles, specifically looking at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, unfortunately. But it's really interesting to see, like, because it's got Hogwarts Legacy coming to it. It's got a fucking Hitman. There's a GoldenEye game.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. That one shocked me. What was it, Elden Ring too? Like it's running some shit that you wouldn't, obviously if they're making such a comparable upgrade. So then the pricing
I will say,
makes
like,
sense.
the performance stuff is the thing that's impressed me the most, because like at least they're claiming that like first party like big Nintendo titles, they're saying, yeah, if it's docked, you're getting 4K 60 FPS. I'm like, that's sounds hard to believe, but like fucking go for it if you can.
Yeah.
Let me see, what were they, hold on, let me pull up some notes. What they were saying for third party like AAAs, they were more so aiming for like 4K 40 FPS or 1080p 60.
I was gonna say, I remember it being 1080p 60, so
1080p 60 would be solid. That's better than some like AAA games you'd expect to get on like the Steam Deck. Like the Steam Deck, you're sitting at like medium to low settings, and you're probably getting about 45 FPS at like 720p.
Yeah, here we go. Third-party AAA titles will likely range from 1080p at 30 to 40 FPS to 1440p at 60 FPS when docked.
okay, that's not terrible.
It's pretty legit. It seems like the dock is going to be doing a lot more for this one, especially because like it has a fan in it, so they must actually have some shit in there boosting the performance.
Yeah, the big thing with handheld specifically is you can throw in like a really big powerful processor in it or something, but because of its form factor, it's really limited in what it can do for its cooling operations. So they have to like detune it basically when it's in handheld mode, so it doesn't just overheat like crazy, or so that it doesn't just immediately become a fucking molten brick of lava in your hands. And they can kind of avoid having to do that restriction when it's in dock mode, because it has that built-in cooler on it now, which basically like uncaps it and lets it have more performance than you didn't actually expect it to. So that's a big improvement. I can't believe they didn't have something like that on the Switch 1.
Yeah, because I have my Switch sitting directly to my right, and that was definitely like a big like I almost said eye opener. That's not the proper term for it, but it's just like when you look at the Switch dock, it's just kind of a piece of plastic that you put your Switch in, and it displays it on your TV and charges it. But yeah, the whole dock being a lot beefier and having the fan and everything, and plus I think no, because the camera plugs straight into the Switch, so never mind. But that's another interesting concept, is you can use the camera and charge it at the same time, so that probably is also, a huge benefit of having the fan.
Can we just talk about the camera and all that shit, by the way, here real quick? It's fucking stupid, right?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, it's kind of...
nobody's gonna fucking use that.
I mean, the 10-year-olds who don't have Discord accounts, however many of those happen to exist, will use it, but yeah, who cares?
But what's really fucking annoying is that they've crammed a fucking button onto your controllers specifically for the chat. That shit is gonna be so annoying. It's like the fucking screenshot feature that all these controllers have nowadays too. That shit fucking pisses me off. I hate it.
I like the screenshot button. Fuck you,
I don't
stinker.
like it. I hate it.
I like it.
Well, the screenshot button on the Switch, or, like, I'm assuming we're talking
Any console, I don't like it.
Well, listen, though, dude, because at least for the Xbox controllers, at least it's in the center of the controller where you're not likely to accidentally press it.
I still hit it accidentally.
That just sounds like a personal problem, if I'm being completely honest.
Nico button mashes on every type of game.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't mind the chat button. I'm not the kind of person that accidentally hits the home or screenshot button when I'm playing my Switch. When I first saw it, I thought it was Discord integration.
That's what I'm saying. The UI looks so fucking similar to the Discord chat UI that I genuinely thought they were just announcing Discord integration. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And then I saw more of it anyway. It looks a little different. And then I was like, oh, okay. It's like their own shitty recreation of it.
Yeah. I like how even in... their pre-recorded direct, it looked like shit when you were, like, sharing your screen and whatever.
I appreciate that they're not trying to fucking fake it, though, because, like, it did look like shit, and I appreciate that they're showing that it looks like shit, and not trying to be like, oh, yeah, no, like, actually, it's gonna look a lot better.
I mean, even then, like, when I saw that and I saw the stream was lagging, that's like, that's business as usual. Like, unless you're watching, like, Twitch or YouTube, I don't really think you're seeing the game. Like, especially if your console's already running its own shit, I don't expect, anything more than 30 frames while watching somebody else's gameplay, especially over, a live internet feed.
That was like 10 FPS.
Yeah, but... Yeah, the whole deal with the camera, I was like, it's an interesting addition. All it really, like, if we're gonna say anything good about the camera, it's interesting that it applies its own, I can't say it applies its own green screen, basically just cuts out the background behind you on its own, which, it's fine. But other than that, like, my
position is just, who cares? No one's gonna use it.
Yeah, because
everyone's just gonna get on Discord and play Mario Kart.
True.
Let's talk about the games.
Oh, thank God.
Kirby Air Ride 2, baby! Or Kirby Air Riders, I guess I should say. Anyway, go on. Yes, you guys have other interesting things to say?
We can talk about Kirby Air Riders here real quick.
Fucking 20 years in the making. I remember playing Kirby Air Ride all the time, and obviously, like we alluded to, the gameplay trailers weren't very long, so we didn't get to see really what most of these games were about. But if Kirby Air Riders is anything like Kirby Air Ride, obviously minus more modes, maybe more maps, this, that, more upgrades, I am very excited. I've told a couple people, like, if I had the money for the Switch 2 right now, I'd probably buy it exclusively for Kirby Air Riders. I think that shit's fucking sick.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be a gale time. Did they say that that's going to be a launch release?
No, it's coming out in July. I think it's like July 15th or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a gale time. Obviously Sakurai is working on that. The big question, though... Do you think that's all he's working on for the Switch 2?
I don't know what other games these people make, I'm sorry.
Smash Bros. Dylan.
Okay, hot take, extremely controversial.
Fuck Smash Bros.
I was glad they didn't announce Smash Bros. To come with the Switch 2. I don't imagine it going much further. The only thing I can imagine for Smash Bros. At this point is they just continue it so it's available on newer consoles. I am of the ilk that I don't know if Smash Bros. Should continue. That's just me.
I mean, it's a fucking infinite money generator, so it's certainly a controversial opinion. They're definitely going to make a new one. So one really minor thing is I did hear some people when they were doing test reviews of it said that they felt like the input lag was lower like a noticeable amount lower on the Switch 2 over like the Switch. So people are contemplating, oh yeah, is it going to actually like make Smash a lot better and more consistent? Who knows?
That would be neat. I do remember it's unfortunate because based on my experiments with the Switch, it is like proximity based how much input lag you have. So if they, at least strengthen the connection or whatever the hell they have to do, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm happy that your Switch Pro controllers are still going to work on the Switch too.
That's also what I'm wondering.
No, they will. That's confirmed.
They will? Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank God.
Yeah. Your SD cards won't because you gotta use a new special one, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not super happy with Nintendo on that one, to be honest.
256 gigabytes by default, which I think last time we talked about Switch 2, I think that's where we landed, or like that's like the bare minimum.
Yeah,
that
that's
needs to
absolutely
have.
the bare minimum. That's like 2 AAA games.
Yeah.
What's really funny about that is in that exact context, like that exact like tone, when they were talking about the storage for the Switch 2, I heard that exact line from Jackson from that episode. But yeah,
like a ghost of Christmas past.
But I mean, yeah, 256 is nice. They did like accentuate that. Yeah, it's like 8 times more storage. So
That's so funny that's true.
Yeah,
I mean, the fucking Switch 1 came with 0 fucking storage by default. It's actually insanely how bad it was.
It came with 32, and then you could buy more, but...
I mean, in fairness, I guess that was like a decade ago when the Switch 1 came out, but that's still such a fucking insanely low number.
Yeah.
I guess it's just like... Should it be an expectation that these consoles come with a decent amount of storage, or do you think these companies... Okay.
Yes.
Well,
especially since every company now is pushing people away from physical purchases.
That is true.
Yes, you need to have a large amount of storage built in.
But, like, then the other side of that argument is, like, if we have the physical game, why do we have to download so much of it, too?
It's more cost efficient.
Yeah, it's more cost efficient. They make more money if you just buy digital instead of physical. Games run faster if it's all on local memory instead of having to be read.
We immediately got sidetracked from the games, though. Let's talk about Mario Kart, boys.
I want to talk about Mario Kart. Mario Kart looks so fucking sweet, dude. It looks cool. Awesome.
I thought one of the more interesting features was driving between races, in between Grand Prix races. I thought that was pretty cool. I've heard people are upset that feature is only available in Grand Prix mode, but who the fuck cares?
They've had that feature in like old Forza games previously. This is basically just like Forza Mario Kart. People did not like it in that, so hopefully it's better in this.
I am curious as to how exactly it's going to be working, because I caught some of like the Treehouse showcase that they did for Mario Kart World, and from what it looks like, once you finish the race, then it's like, okay, you just wait for everyone to finish. Now you start going to the other course. I don't know what the purpose of that is going to be, though. Does it just determine like what place you start in for the next race?
In Forza, I think it had to do with seeding, but also was most of the big criticism that people thought was a fucking waste of time.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I remember in the moment thinking it was a very cool addition, but then I thought about it more and I was like, so if you finish first, do you just get to start the next race earlier? Do you still have to wait for people? Is there some like loop track where you just drive in circles until everybody gets there? Like, what's the story there? But
yeah, it does kind of feel like almost a solution to something that wasn't really a problem, because they were like, dude, we're having people wait 30 seconds between first place and last place finishing. I guess with 24 racers now, maybe it's like, oh, there's a full like 2-minute gap between the first person finishing and the last one, but it's a solution in search of a problem, kinda, to me.
in that, like, same vein, though, with, like, Nico saying that you basically have to wait once the first race ends before you drive to the next one, it doesn't sound like it solves anything in that case.
Well, I think he's saying you don't... I don't think he said that.
No, yeah, once you finish the race, everyone waits until, like, everyone else finishes, then you go to the next course.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense at all.
That's what I'm... That's what I'm worried about.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah,
I hope that's not true.
That's what it looked like was going on in the showcase.
I'm kind of hoping... My money's hopefully on, like, maybe a loop track where you just drive in circles, or maybe they just let you free roam while you wait, but then also, you don't want those jackasses that waste everybody's time, so who really knows?
I mean, if you're gonna wait, like, I don't know. I'll have to see it for myself. What I'm hearing right now does not make any sense. Anyways, knockout mode looks pretty sweet though.
Yes.
I think that's badass.
I remember playing Burnout Revenge, and that was like one of the modes is knockout. It was one of my favorite ones. A very satisfying sense of victory for sure.
We didn't get to see what the gas canisters from the previous trailer were about, though.
Gas canisters. Oh, right.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
it
don't
just
think we did.
portable like boost or whatever? Is this like without a boost shroom or whatever the hell?
Yes, I think that was the rumor. It was like, oh, you'll have like mushroom boosts and like a tank of it that you can activate whatever, which may still be true. They added parkour, which doesn't make any sense, but it's fucking sweet.
Exactly. It looks cool as fuck.
Yeah.
That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
I don't know about the Assassin's Creed wall running, but
It also seems to have like Diddy Kong racing style like transformations where you are just straight up turning into like planes and boats.
And Diddy Kong Racing didn't do that like mid-race though.
True,
That was a Sonic All-Stars Transformed where you did that.
Yeah. I guess I was misremembering Diddy Kong as letting you transform mid-race.
I wasn't paying attention super hard to that, but that'd be cool if, your cart didn't just kind of get hover jets or, floatable tires or some shit. I don't know. If they actually became other vehicles, but
I'm gonna miss the zero gravity, to be honest. I think they were able to do some cool creative stuff with that.
yeah, it was fun. I'm actually surprised. Is that confirmed not moving forward into this Mario Kart game?
We haven't seen it at all, so I'm kind of assuming.
I mean, that's fair, but also it's a feature in one of the old games, so why would they show it off, kind of thing? But I don't know. It could still. I'm on the field of it's gonna be in the game. They just didn't show it.
Okay. What other games do people care about?
Well, hang on a second here. Let's talk about the characters real quick in Mario Kart World, okay?
Oh, yeah.
There are some wacky-ass characters that they decided to add to this shit, alright?
It's
so,
hilarious, dude.
I'm gonna go ahead and,
Funniest shit I've ever seen. It's literally every
Wiki.
character that has ever been in a Mario game under
cool.
any context.
Yeah, I didn't take time to. Oh, wait, what the fuck?
So the newcomers for this game, we have the likes of Goomba, Piranha Plant, Pianta from Mario Sunshine. We got Spike joining the crew, a dolphin, a cow from Moo Moo Meadows, Pokey, Para Biddybud, a penguin, Sidestepper from the Mario Bros. Arcade game, a snowman, that's my main right there, Cataquack, also from Sunshine, fucking Fishbone. What is this thing's deal? Why are they adding it to the game? I don't understand.
Diversity
It
inclusion.
really kind of feels like the same way that, Smash Brothers Ultimate was the ultimate Smash Bros. Game. This might be the ultimate Mario Kart.
Very well might be. I just don't understand. Like, I like the idea of them adding, like, some weird enemies and shit like that, but, like, a lot of these things don't even have, like, hands or anything. I don't fully understand how they're gonna be really driving the vehicles here.
They're just going to be leaning side to side, dude.
I'm actually really glad you brought this up, because I was gonna ask, how do we feel about the playable characters having costumes and outfits? Because I think some of the characters are pretty cool, but,
I don't have a strong opinion on it at all.
Yeah, I don't mind
fair
it at all.
enough. Dude, I just wish I'm seeing some of these Double Dash characters, and I'm like, dude, why haven't they brought back Mario Kart Double Dash? Was it really not that popular? Am I the only one who cares about Mario Kart Double Dash?
Nintendo just doesn't really bring back stuff all that often.
I mean, they just fucking brought back Kirby Air Ride. I don't know if that's...
After how long?
I mean, that's also true, but, also, they continue all these other series. Oh, I just remembered. How do we feel about, I don't know if I can call it a reskin, but I'm gonna go with that word. The reskin of Donkey Kong. I find it slightly perturbing.
Redesign?
Yeah, I just find it slightly perturbing. I felt like it was an unnecessary thing that happened, but hey, isn't that how he looks in, like, the fucking Mario Bros. Movie or whatever?
Yeah.
God damn it.
No, it's not. He
Is it
looks
not?
normal in the Mario Bros. Movie. It's
No, he
how he
doesn't.
looks in... What are you talking
He
about?
has a
Somebody-
design closer to this in the Mario Bros. Movie.
Ugh.
Am I filling in the classic looking Donkey Kong in the Mario Bros movie or something? I swear he's
Potentially.
like the traditional brown Donkey Kong with the red tie in the movie.
I'm pretty sure he does still have like all that stuff, but his like face and everything is much more cartoony like it is here.
Yeah.
Oh well, I think the
That's-
big difference is that like in the Mario Kart version, he's like now gray and wears pants.
He's not fucking
I don't think
gray.
people were really looking at his face as the big difference here.
There's like some fucking Wreck-It Ralph shit going on here.
Whoa.
Oh, I don't know. It was a very minor thing, but then I saw, yeah, that's how he was designed in his own game that's coming out, and I was like, not a character design I would have made, but, you know, whatever, we're here now.
The King Kong people are finally getting around to suing Nintendo.
Are they actually?
No.
Damn it. It's been a long time coming, man. I'm waiting for it.
But yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza looks pretty sweet. I'd be interested in playing that.
Dude, I'm absolutely hyped for the new Donkey Kong game. It looks very cool. You can like fucking grind around just like using the rubble that you tear out of the earth. It looks pretty fucking sweet.
It is a very destructible game, I will say. I wasn't too sure about it. It looks like it's still like it's got some classical Donkey Kong Country gameplay, so that's pretty cool. So it's like split half free roam and the other half is side scroll. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of like resource farming games necessarily. So
Is that what you think is happening? He's like mining?
that I mean, it's a very big focus for what it looks like. So I don't really know how else to describe
that's
that.
just fucking traversal. You're
yeah.
not like collecting resources or anything.
I kind of thought I saw that in the game. I guess I could be wrong, but
I mean, there's pickups and stuff. I'm sure it's like, you know, a Banjo-Kazooie style, what the fuck are those called? Collectathons
Yeah,
or whatever?
collectathon.
probably.
Yeah. But it's not like fucking Minecraft where you're digging up resources.
I got fucking Astroneer vibes, if I'm being completely honest.
No one knows what that is.
I like
Unfortunate.
Astroneer. I think it's interesting. I kind of see what you're saying.
Anyway, I don't know, especially...
Tanner, how the fuck did you think that Donkey Kong was gray in this new design?
Well, he's gray in Mario Kart, isn't he?
No.
No.
I swear to God, when we saw the first images of Mario Kart, he was fucking gray.
Dude, you got duped by the dress.
Duped by the dress.
I like his new design, though, personally. I think he looks nice. Now, the big thing here is that we see in Mario Kart, as well as in this new Donkey Kong game, we're not seeing Diddy anywhere. So we have no idea how, like, any of the other Kong designs are translating to this new art style. Are they maybe just, like, nixing Diddy since he was, like, a rare creation?
No, they're nixing him because of Diddy's legal troubles.
God.
Okay, gotcha.
Me and Tanner were thinking the same thing. Way to go, Tanner.
That's fair enough, then.
Okay, here, this is the fucking picture I'm talking about. I guess it's maybe a lighting thing, but he looks like fucking grayish brown in this one.
I mean... I don't...
Am I wrong? He's like a weird color in this.
It looks heavily distorted at the same time, though, so, like, I don't really know what to tell you.
Who knows? Oh well. Jackson, what were you about to say before Dylan so rudely interrupted you?
Nothing.
Oh.
Damn it. I did it again. I'm sorry.
Are there any games that you saw that caught your eye then?
No, honestly, not really. I think the new
Womp womp.
Mario Kart looks alright, but I don't really care for Mario Kart. I don't really care for Donkey Kong. I'm not really a big Nintendo guy.
That's fair. I'll just shout out a game that I know nobody else here cares about, but I want to get it out there. Borderlands 4 releasing on Switch 2
Boo,
drop.
boo, who the fuck
Whatever.
cares?
I obviously do, that's why I brought it up. Shut up.
Silksong, though, finally got the announcement that's actually coming out this year. We never thought it would happen, but it's happening, guys. Now, obviously, the astute amongst you may recall that back in, I don't know, like maybe 2023 or so, there was an Xbox showcase in which they were like, hey, we're going to show off a bunch of games coming to Game Pass, and all of these games are coming out this year, and Silksong was in there. I'm hoping this isn't a repeat of that, but I guess only time will tell.
I mean, a lot of these developers are confident that their game will be released when the Switch drops, so I guess only time will tell. I was kind of sad and surprised to see that it only got, like, a passerby, like, mention, and it didn't get, like, its own thing. I figured it was a bigger game than that, but, whatever, I guess.
They know they don't have to do much to drum a pipe for it.
I mean, I'm sure that the same could be said for a lot of these other games, yet they still did it.
Speaking of a lot of other games, Metroid, Tanner, you psyched for new Metroid?
Dude, I don't know why you're passing it off to me. I don't really have much of a history with Metroid. I haven't played any of the other Prime games.
Well, I thought this was like a big thing. Like, you were wondering when the next Metroid Prime 4 was going to come out or something.
Well, yeah, I was wondering when it would come out. That doesn't mean I'm, excited about it.
I don't know. You're the only person out here I've heard talk about it, so I had no other assumptions to make.
Tanner hates it. He wished it was never coming out. I watched the showcase for Metroid as well, and what exactly is the draw of Metroid Prime 4? It kind of looks like just some basic sci-fi shooter.
Yeah.
Dude, but it's Metroid.
Oh, okay.
She's got psychic powers this time.
I see.
What are our thoughts on the new Pokemon Legends game coming out?
Don't care.
I figured you wouldn't. Nico, you have anything?
I don't particularly care that much either.
Okay. I would ask Jackson, but...
Yeah, I never played Legends of Arceus. I mean, I think it looks interesting, I guess. I don't really have any intention of buying it, but I like shakeups.
Yeah, I remember... The issue here is I remember having the same thought of Legends Arceus. I saw Legends EA and I was more excited before I saw the reveal trailer. And then I watched the reveal trailer and I was kind of like, this doesn't seem like anything crazy or something that I'd particularly enjoy. So if I do end up playing it, I'm just gonna go with the assumption like I had the same thoughts of Legends Arceus and that maybe I'm just wrong about Legends ZA and I'll actually end up enjoying it. So that's my fingers crossed moment for this overall reveal, I guess.
Dog, why the fuck were those the starters they chose? What the fuck is their problem?
I don't know. I think we went over who we would have chosen. I can't be bothered to remember what they were. What's wrong with the starters that we have, though?
They're just fucking lame, dude. I don't care about any of them.
I actually can't even remember who the fucking starters are. It's like fucking...
Totodile, Chikorita, and Tepig.
Why the fuck didn't they just pick fucking my goats Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur, man? Are they throwing?
That's what I'm saying.
They should just make those the starters in every game.
For real, dude. They just have Charizard. Every Fire Evolution just turns into Charizard for some reason.
Hot take. I think that they should make a Pokemon game where you're allowed to choose whatever starter from any generation you want.
Dude, just play Mystery Dungeon if you want that.
I don't like Mystery Dungeon. I think they're boring. Now, Pokemon Ranger, though. Oh, boy.
Based?
Pokemon Ranger is kind of fucking sick.
I did like it a lot.
There any other games that caught people's eyes?
Okay, so obviously, there's one of the big reveals at the very end of the showcase, which was Bloodborne 2, not actually Bloodborne 2, but come on, it's Bloodborne 2. We all know what it is.
I was gonna say,
There's people with British accents in it.
I was looking at that, I was like, oh, is this the second Bloodborne game that I heard everybody talking about? And then it wasn't Bloodborne, and I was left extremely confused, so I'm glad that my suspicions were confirmed here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sony really has just seemingly decided, no, we don't want to ever do anything new with Bloodborne again. Stop asking us. So Nintendo decided to take FromSoft up on that one, and they're finally allowing them to do something new with it.
That's very funny. I mean, isn't Bloodborne just British Dark Souls? Isn't that, like, the general gist of it? Am I oversimplifying it?
I mean, yeah, every FromSoft game is just X Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Apparently, Duskblood is a fucking, multiplayer PvE.
Are you sure you're not thinking of, the fucking...
I'm not thinking of the, other multiplayer thing they made. I mean, I heard that, Duskblood is like a PvPvE or some bullshit.
Interesting. Big if true.
Isn't the fucking co-op Elden Ring also on Switch too? Isn't that... I feel like I remember seeing that.
I don't remember if that was in the showcase at all. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's running all this other shit. I always go back to, thinking of the games this console runs, and I'm like, this is going to be a pretty solid console, if anything else. I'm glad they, did so well on it.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Duskblood. Yeah. Multiplayer game, it says.
Okay.
PvPvE, pitting players against each other and NPC enemies in a bid to take something called the First Blood.
Interesting. It's just getting the first kill of the round and then it ends.
That's funny. So yeah, they're experimenting with another like multiplayer type thing, which is interesting. That might actually get me to play it. Who knows?
They have jetpacks in this one. Isn't that crazy?
It sure does.
Oh, I don't know why this reminded me. I thought, and maybe I haven't tested this feature, I thought it was very interesting that they're bringing back, like, the share play feature that was originally on the DS's, and then, I guess, just dipped out of their minds until the Switch 2. Do you guys know if any of the other Nintendo consoles had share play before the Switch 2?
I think it was just the DS's.
I mean, I think it's a cool feature. I always thought it was pretty sick. The idea of, you know,
I agree. It's great. That's how I played Star Fox 64 3D.
Yeah, there we go. I'm kind of shocked in today's day and age that Nintendo's just cool with that. Also, was local play not an option on the Switch? Like, you could only do online play? I swear that local play was a thing.
I mean, it wasn't like you were making a LAN connection or anything.
Well, yeah, but I swear I could just be misremembering.
Do you mean, like, I guess I don't understand what you're asking. You could get in, like, private matches with your friends, yes.
For some reason, I'm remembering this detail of, like, they explicitly described the difference between online play and local play, where it's, like, you can play based on proximity, not necessarily in relation to internet access, if I remember correctly. No, that wasn't
a feature on the Switch.
Well, that's a pretty neat feature, just to kind of rope it in with the whole share play shit. So I'm glad they remembered, you know, they had some pretty decent ideas with their old consoles. And also, Nico, didn't they have the GameCube controller for the Switch? Am I misremembering that?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just reprofitizing. Gotcha. Any guesses on how much that's going to cost? Because they don't have it listed.
$1 billion.
I'm guessing it's going to be the same cost as the Pro at like $80.
It's so I don't know if it's just...
I mean, that's how much... Don't all controllers cost like $80 right now?
Xbox controllers are like $65, dude.
Yeah, let's say like a PS5 controller is like $60.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Nintendo's smoking. Like, I to this day cannot justify paying like $70-$80 for Joy-Cons. Like, it's just... It's unfathomable.
Why would you want more Joy-Cons in the first place?
Well, you know, in case you want to play with people who either don't have a Switch or, you know, considering I have like 2 sets of Joy-Cons and that's all I really needed. Obviously, if you're playing with your friends, you won't need more Joy-Cons. But, like, regardless of that scenario, I find it, you know, charging that much for controllers that are so tiny to be insane. But, again, that could just be me.
It ain't about the size, Don. It's about what you can do with them.
I realize that now, but like when I looked it up today and saw that the new Joy-Con 2s are gonna be fucking $90, I was like, oh Jesus! Maybe if I get a Switch 2, it'll just be for me. I'm not gonna invest, because it's one of those things where if you get a new console, you basically have to reinvest in literally fucking everything. So
yeah, PS5 controller on the PlayStation website is $75, so. That's the base price. Obviously, you can find deals or whatever, but like all controllers are like $70 to $80 nowadays.
I mean, maybe, but like, if any,
what do you mean? I'm looking at the fucking website right now, buddy.
I mean, because Xbox controllers are $65. I don't know what to tell you.
I'll pull it up.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I don't recall them having unless like GameStop for whatever reason just was able to get all their controllers priced at $65, but I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, they're normally like $65 for just like a colored version, or if you just get like a black or a white version, it's $60.
Yeah, it floats around there. Obviously, we could justify the price of something. I understand resources cost money, and the more advanced the technology gets, the more expensive it has to be. It's just still insane in my mind.
Dude, it looks like Xbox is just chill like that.
Dude, Xbox is fucking
Xbox
goated.
controllers don't have as much shit in them is the thing.
I don't know if you meant that derogatory or not, Nico, but to be honest, I think the Xbox controller's fine the way it is. I think if it does the job and I could play the game, then that's fine.
Dude, I love the current iteration of the Xbox controller.
Me too.
Yeah, Nintendo and PlayStation just really feel the need to pack a lot of shit into their controllers that none of their games actually end up using. Mm-hmm. And just end up inflating the price.
Dude.
What, you telling me you don't like haptic trigger feedback?
Not necessarily. I hardly know what that is, to be completely fair.
That's something on the PS5. I think maybe I noticed it in like Horizon Zero Dawn or some shit.
See, and that's the problem, is if you're gonna make a controller that expensive, which is why I'm hoping Nintendo follows through, if you're gonna make a controller that expensive and have all those features, at least, encompass it in a majority of your games and not just a few times. Or my fear for Nintendo being, sure, they threw it in all these new games, but then they forget about it and then don't implement it anywhere else.
Okay, do we have any other games that people want to bring up? Okay, let's leave off on this. Do you guys think you will be getting the Switch 2, let's say, within 1 year of release?
That's a very...
No, probably not for me either.
I want to be able to, but also, I barely play mine, so I can't justify buying it. So I want to say yes, but I believe the answer will be no.
Okay.
So yeah, Switch 2 is cool, but I genuinely don't touch my Switch unless a new Pokemon game comes out, in which case I play it for a month and then it goes back into hibernation, so that it just would make no financial sense for me to buy it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Although, I believe we all probably went into our Switch purchases knowing we weren't going to use them that often as well, so...
Well...
Nah, I bought my thing, I was going to daily that bitch.
I bought mine specifically for Smash Bros. And nothing else.
Fair enough. I could definitely... I think I'm probably more likely than not to get it in the first year, just because I really do think the new Mario Kart looks that sick. I'm that excited about it.
You're also a big old consumer, ain't ya? Ain't ya, Tanner? Oink oink, you love being the pay pig for Nintendo, aren't ya?
Oh yeah, dude. Give me that slop.
Tanner, you have a Switch, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. What I was about to say doesn't matter then.
It's the only console he has right now.
True. The only one I personally own, yes.
Oh.
Ah.
Your girlfriend has a fucking Sega Jaguar or some shit like that.
Jaguar.
Nah, she's got the PS5, dude.
Oh, okay.
Holy smokes.
Anyway, speaking of slop...
I thought we were going to discuss, the prices of the games and shit like that, but...
Oh, sure, we can bring that up. $80, I assume this is only for, the big Nintendo titles, but $80 digital, $90 physical.
It's gonna be an investment for sure for this new wave of consoles and shit, so it's
I'm honestly not all that worked up about it.
Dude, I'm not really either. I'm not coming to bat for Nintendo here or anything like that. I don't think that them raising the prices is a good thing, but this is just where the industry is currently trending. It was only a matter of time before somebody raises their prices to this point, and Nintendo are just the ones biting the bullet, so...
I mean, yeah, literally, they're just kind of keeping up with inflation, honestly. Games have been $60 for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And, you get so much value out of newer games, too. $60 is a fucking bargain for the shit you get out of a lot of games. You can get hundreds of hours, which, well over justifies the price tag. So I'm not, crazy opposed to it, too, but I do think it certainly will... I don't know. It's hard to really understand what, the economic impact of that will be. Because I feel $80 is a lot harder of a pill to swallow, especially $90 for one video game. I'm curious how that's going to go.
You know, all AAA games are going to be shooting up to that very quickly here as well, but...
Yeah, every single game dev in the world just went... Whoo!
Finally.
And they're gonna jack up their prices now.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time paying fucking $70 for a video game. There's a lot of new AAA ones. I'm I can't fucking justify spending $70 on a video game. 60 seems reasonable, though. That's just because my mind is stuck on that, though. But I was joking about it previously about, you guys gonna buy GTA 6 if it's $100? It's definitely gonna be $100.
It's gonna be up there. Knowing Rockstar. And the unfortunate thing, though, too, is... I do agree. They have a lot of value. I think the $80 or $90 price tag will scare some people off. I don't think it'll scare everybody off. But this is also coming from a guy, and I'm sure a lot of us are in a similar boat. I haven't actually bought a game in probably a handful of years, I would say. Even if I did buy a game, it was a Switch game for like $40. I think that's the bigger shock, is like, I think the last time I remember buying a Switch game was like $40, $45, $50. But I mean, and again, this is like going along with what Jackson's just like in the mindset of $60 seems reasonable for a game. I also am just used to playing free to play games, and then if I want to buy a game on Steam, they're usually relatively cheap. So I'm just, I think it's just solely because I'm so used to these cheap games or free games that, you know, when the next big thing comes out, and this is like how things are going to be, it is a bit of a shock, to say the least. So I think people will get over it, maybe, but we'll have to see when the day comes.
I think it's fine just because, like, this means... I'm hoping this means games will, like, explore price points, because it used to be just, like, every game was $60 and not all of them needed to be. And so I'm hoping this just means they're like, yeah, this is a $30 game, this is a $40, this is a $50, this is a $70, you know, like, just really be able to customize that a bit more based on, like, what that game actually, like, deserves.
That seems very optimistic.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. I mean, they already have that option. I've seen games that are 50 at launch, 40 at launch, 30 at launch. Like, they already do that. If it's a AAA game, though, they're going to put it at 60 regardless of its quantity of content or quality in general.
Perhaps you're right. But also, and this, for me, this is just like, yeah, I'll play games 2 years after they came out and get them cheaper.
That's the part that sucks about Nintendo games, though. They're not going to go down in price.
True.
They're going to be $90 forever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Switch and all of its like accessories and games are still sitting at the price when they were when they released.
Will they go down once the Switch 2 comes out?
That is a good question.
I want to say yes, but I don't think it is going to.
Well, I'm surprised that, like, there wasn't even one of us that was like, fucking $90? Like, one of these Twitter retards.
I mean...
We're just so much more enlightened.
We're all enlightened centrists. I just want to grill.
I think we, like Jackson said, I think the four of us can acknowledge the value and the resources that go into these games and what we get out of them, so...
Yeah. Really, what game devs need to figure out is how to not spend $500 billion making a game every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
They spend $500 million making a game every 10 years. Like, that is obviously not sustainable.
No. But
Naughty Dog has a great track record, but if they miss once, they're immediately fucked. They released one new game so far this console cycle.
They should just make a new Crash Bandicoot or something.
That'd be very funny if they did that.
Yeah.
They release Intergalactic and it's just Crash Bandicoot somehow. Doesn't even make sense.
Oh well.
Speaking of not making sense...
I can't wait to not make any sense over on Guapish at the movies.
Guapish at the movies?
Oh, hold on there, Belle. You can't just go ramming a man's personal things into some hole like that.
Jackson, what did we watch this week?
The Patreon pick this week, as requested by Tanner, aka Mr. T on Patreon, thank you for the request, was the 2000 film Dinosaur. And if you also want to get your pick requested, reviewed by us, you can go to patreon.com/Guapish or guapish.com/Patreon for $1 a month to get your movie in the queue every month, and we'll review it at some point. Tanner, how about you run us down the plot of this one?
Sure. Dinosaur is Tarzan, but dinosaurs. And it's also kind of Ice Age, the big meltdown, or whatever that fucking one was.
Understandable.
So it's dinosaurs and they're running. The end. Fun fact. This movie has the highest death toll of any Disney film.
I was gonna say, they were super casual about killing characters in this movie.
Dude, they're dinosaurs. They all die in the end anyway. Who gives a fuck?
No, they don't. Are we still doing the thing where we
Okay,
do
guys. You have... Oh, wait, we have to do ranks.
I was gonna say, you guys didn't do it last episode, so I was curious.
Yeah, we did.
Did
We
you?
might not have.
I'm pretty
Who
sure we
knows?
did.
I'm sitting at a C- right now.
Okay. I'm sitting at D+.
Fuck.
I'm at a C- as well.
God damn it.
What are you at, Dylan?
I'm sitting at a B.
Okay.
This guy liked the dinosaurs.
I thought it was
does
a
like dinosaurs.
cute and charming movie, and that's like the only redeeming quality. Not the only redeeming
Well,
quality.
what I was about to say before I went into the ranks was, okay, guys, we have to start with the positives, but I guess Dylan actually liked this one. So, what did you like about this one, Dylan?
I don't know, like the really. Well, I'm not gonna start with it. You said, what did I like? I thought it was an endearing and cute and charming movie, and that, like, I just like how the plot kind of resolved over the course. It was kind of choppy and unaligned for a majority of it, but I mean, past everything, I thought the animation was fine. I thought it was a really interesting like idea to have like mixed animation where they made the shots that they could film in person, and like for anything like dinosaur-esque or anything where it's like obviously
I'm pretty
you can't
sure all of
get
this was CG, Dylan.
I don't think all of it was CG.
No, there was like real backgrounds that they comp the dinosaurs in, but that's just something you do with CG characters.
I mean, I just would have assumed that in a movie like this, everything would have been CG'd or animated, so it was
Not in the year 2000, that'd be risky business.
I don't know, I thought that was a nice little charm to this movie. I don't know, I thought the characters were pretty likable in my opinion. Well, for the most part, obviously the characters you were supposed to hate, you hated them. I don't know, I just thought it was a cute and charming movie. I don't really know what else to say.
Dude, Crone did nothing wrong. He was right the whole time. He just didn't have as much information as the other characters.
That is not how animals operate.
Well, these are intelligent dinosaurs.
But when being presented with new information, he decided to just like completely ignore all of it.
It challenged his authority.
Well, they didn't have any photographic evidence, so. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people who like fucking shit all over this film have to say is like it looks bad. And I'm not saying it looks good. I am saying I don't think the looks are like a distraction from the movie. Like I don't think it detracts from the like its ability to tell the story it's telling. In fact, I think there's actually some neat shots here and there. I think the big shot of the big meteor off in the distance crashing into the ocean, I think that actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think
reminds me of a Silent
mostly
Voice.
It's the shots that are like really far away of like the dinosaurs and stuff. I'm like, oh, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, we have to look at them close.
Yeah. And then my final positive is I actually think the score is actually pretty good for this. I think they did a good job on that one.
It is a Disney movie after all.
Jackson, is it a Silent Voice where there's the big meteor? Is that your name?
That's your name. A Silent Voice is about the fucking deaf girl.
Yeah. I think it'd be funny if there was a big meteor in that one as well.
They should just remake every movie and add a meteor at the end.
Yeah. I'd say I mostly agree with Tanner. I don't think that the visuals are that horrific. They're not very good, but they're not like...
They're pretty bad.
I think some of it is pretty bad. The monkeys I don't like, especially the fucking blonde-ass monkey. I hate him. He's the worst. He is the worst aspect of this entire film, quite frankly.
He's so
I do not
ugly.
like him at all. But as for the rest of it, this movie is just kind of boring, and that's the main thing I didn't like all that much about it. They are kind of just going on a little journey to find the water hole, and hijinks ensue.
Breeding grounds, Nico. Breeding grounds.
I'm gonna breed you in the ground, Dylan.
God damn it. How did you turn that on me?
This movie started off really fucking boring and terrible to look at, and I would say I definitely got used to the visuals after a point, but they're still bad. And especially the monkeys, the fur texture just looks really fucking weird. They've got strange faces. Honestly, though, I would say it definitely started gripping me a little bit when the fucking big meteor started coming down. That caught me a little off guard, and I do think it's interesting having a Disney movie with such like a fucking dark moment for the main cast. Like, basically their entire fucking family was just wiped off the planet. I think that's interesting. I do wish, in that note, that they focused more on the monkeys. It basically is just like the fucking main guy's story once they get onto that new island, because they just encounter all the other dinosaurs, and then the monkeys are just like generic side characters that make quips, and that's basically all they're there for.
Yeah, they kind of just do become an afterthought. It's like you'll occasionally see them in the background, like in the shade of the Triceratops or whatever, but that's kind of it.
I mean, like, they're their family, and they were coming along for a reason. Honestly, I feel like the movie would have more impact if the dude was completely on his own, and then, like, had to find new family with these new people, which is what he did, but I think the emotional impact of it would have worked better. Granted, though, they're probably just doing it because they wanted marketable, cute animals or something to come along with the big, scary dinosaurs. But I do think it's weird that they set up these characters and then do absolutely nothing with them later until, like, the very end of the movie, or I guess. But,
Dude, but the dad monkey gets peed on again. It's a callback.
Dude, I know, and I don't care. But yeah, the plot line of this movie is insanely generic. It has absolutely nothing to write home about. Once they encounter that pack, it just was totally whatever.
Dude, fun fact, this movie is why iguanodons are my favorite dinosaur.
The fuck are
Is that what the main character is?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Ignorant fools.
That is a terrible favorite dinosaur, Tanner. My condolences,
Dude, he's
man.
got a thumb spike where they could fucking, you know?
So
Dude,
do
I like those
kangaroos.
ones. I like those one with the battering ram head, not the dome, the one with the long horn.
Dude, I'm an ankylosaur main.
Actually, yeah, are those the tanky ones? With the battering tail? I fucking love those things. Those things are goated.
Ankylosaurus is pretty badass, I agree.
It is fucked up, though, that the ankylosaurus in this movie was just like a dog.
That's what I was gonna say.
I love when movies do that, where, like, it's sentient animals, but then they go, but this one is just an animal.
Do you think that one's, like retarded or something?
That's what I thought.
It kind of seems like the implication. Although we do see two other ones earlier, and they are also just like, rah!
I mean, there's a line in this movie with the sentience of these creatures. Like, all of the herbivores or omnivores or whatever the whole pack was can all communicate with each other, but they don't even attempt to talk to the carnivores, which are actively trying to murder them. Mm-hmm. Which I just
in
think
the original script, the Carnotauruses were gonna, like, speak at the very end of the movie, and then they said, "This is creepy as fuck. We're not doing that."
Yeah, no, we can't give them voices. But that just felt weird and inconsistent. But I do think it's funny.
Hot take, I think Earl was a quant.
Okay.
Huh.
Sure, why not?
We're all just sitting here trying to guess what we think Dylan thinks the word quant means.
I don't know. He acts dumb, but he's actually smart.
That's not what a quant
Definitely
is.
not what
Anyway.
quant means.
I don't fucking know. Anyway, I said what I said. I think he was smart when it mattered, and that was pretty funny.
I said what I said, and now I go to bed.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway.
Do we have any other thoughts on this glorious film here? Oh, wait, I guess I'll say my negative. I mean, the big negative for me is the plot is incredibly generic and kind of boring, so...
I thought you were going to say it made you horny for that female dinosaur.
Jesus.
I would fuck that female dinosaur. Why'd they give her the same name, basically, as Nala from The Lion King?
They knew what they were doing.
And also kind of the same face. Which would you rather fuck? Neela from Dinosaur or Nala from The Lion King?
Nala,
Nala.
100%.
Dude, but you can't get an iguanodon pregnant because they lay eggs.
I don't think you could get... Anyway.
That's just what they want you to think, Dylan.
You know about ligers, right, Dylan? You know ligers. You can be the lion.
Wouldn't that be fucked up if, like, secretly, like, human-animal hybrids are totally, like, possible and relatively easy, and scientists just kind of universally agreed, we're just going to tell people you can't do it.
We'd have so many human dogs and human goats walking around.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be the whole, ancestral debate all over again, and I don't want to get into that.
I do think it'd be cool if we could have more combinations of shit like that. I think our world would be a more interesting place if we had some horrible fucking mutated, disease-ridden creatures
awful.
wandering about.
Why the fuck would you say that?
I think that'd be really fucked up is the problem. Also,
Oh, yeah,
like,
it totally would be. It'd be terrible.
According to Alex Jones, human-animal hybrids already exist in China, so...
Love that guy. I wonder what he's doing right now.
According to Alex Jones, 1 in 4 men is a human-animal hybrid.
Dude, Jackson just wants Thyrans to exist in the real world, and it shows.
I'm trying to fuck a rat, you hear?
Jesus. Anyway, do we have anything?
We've gone
pertaining
off
to the
track
movie?
very quickly. I do think it's funny that both of the they don't go the normal route I would think a Disney movie would go, where they try to teach the bad guys that are on the right side a lesson, aka like Ron and the other, this is the guy's leading the herd initially. I kind of thought they were going to do that. I mean, one of them did. He fucking sacrificed himself to save them for the rest of them could go and find the breeding ground or whatever. But the other dude just fucking runs away, which I think is interesting. They don't try to convert him. They just fucking kill him off, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
I like how they're so fucked up compared to Aladar. It's very funny. These are the villains. Look how gross they fucking look.
Yeah. They're battle hardened or something.
I was gonna say, Tell me you're an antagonist without telling me you're an antagonist. Is anybody shocked that he just was dead? I was fully expecting, for them to exchange dialogue at least, even if he was gonna die anyway. But nah. By the time they got back to him, he was just dead. I found that a little shocking.
He just goes, "Don't fuck my sister."
Oh well.
All right. Well, I'm keeping this one at D+.
Yeah, I'm keeping my C-. I think it's a pretty inoffensive movie, but it looks terrible.
Yeah, I'm keeping my C- as well.
I'll drop mine to a B-. I think I could spare one rank. But I still thought this movie, I don't know, I like movies.
Classic Dylan reasoning, and we've got it at a C overall.
If I can't provide a more explicit explanation, then what the fuck else am I supposed to do?
Dude, nothing wrong with you liking movies. Well, I'll say this again. I wish I had your quality. I wish I liked these movies as much as you did most of the time.
I wish you guys all had more of my qualities.
I can't wait to hear how much Dylan liked our next movie.
I don't know what the next one is.
The next movie we watched this week was the 1999 film Wild Wild West, as requested by Dylan. Please give us the plot.
So this is a movie about James West. He's a U.S. Marshal or whatever. He's tasked with catching a dude who murdered people, and then the dude is trying to let other countries buy America back, so he's trying to, get rid of the president and also kill people. And then he runs into this scientist guy who invents things, and then they both are U.S. Marshals trying to stop the bad guy. They stop the bad guy and become the first members of the Secret Service. The end.
Fun fact, this is based on a true story. Nah.
Yeah, the big spider and all.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Will Smith turned down being Neo in The Matrix for this movie.
That's funny as fuck, dude. That's fucking hilarious.
I have a feeling one of these movies is more remembered than the other, and I don't know which.
Equally dog shit.
Opinions.
I legitimately can't remember. Have we seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
we
we
have.
review The Matrix?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. I can't.
Got an A-.
There you go. I'm in between a D- and an F+ right now.
Oh.
Dylan, where are you thinking of putting this one?
Oh, this is gonna be great. I thought it was better than Dinosaur.
Yeah.
I gave it a B+.
Sounds about right, Jackson. How about you?
I don't personally see what Tanner's smoking giving it that low. I gave this one a C currently.
I don't think it's quite that low either. I think I'm gonna be going for a C-.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I guess I'll kick off the general shtick here. Surprisingly, the CG in this movie doesn't look nearly as bad as I expected it to, for the most part.
Right?
It looks shockingly good for 1999, which is terrifying information for me. I expected it looked fucking terrible. Granted, I didn't expect it at all. This movie is fucking weird as shit. But, yeah, honestly, I kind of had a fun time with this movie. It's fucking bad and schlocky, but, the main characters interacting are fun. They've got some wanky gimmicks and shit. I thought some of the comedy was entertaining, though a little bit lowbrow. The setup is fucking so absurd, and they lean into it so much that I can't even really hate it that much. It's not a great movie or anything, but I enjoyed watching it, honestly.
Dude, right?
Yeah, I'm exactly there with Jackson. I was expecting this film to be much more horrific than it actually ended up being. It kind of did end up just being some schlocky fun. Like Jackson said, CGI was wasn't good, but like it wasn't god awful either, so I didn't really mind it all that much. I feel like, Will Smith had a really great line in there where he's talking to that Asian girl, and he's like, hey, East meet West, or whatever the fuck. Pretty solid pickup line right there.
That reminds me, guys, I want to rename myself to Jackson West. Fuck Eggers, that last name sucks, and now I can use that pickup line on my target audience. Anyways, go on.
Man's cruising now.
I didn't have too much more to say about this film. It was just kind of whatever. It's a fine film.
I guess let me go into why I'm number one Wild West hater here.
I'm very curious.
So under positives for this film, I wrote down, and then under negatives, I wrote down embarrassing.
Jesus.
And yikes. I just like...
He didn't like the talk where he's trying to get himself out of being hung in front of a live studio audience.
I didn't really find any of it very funny, to be honest.
Tanner doesn't like them poking fun at his people.
Yeah, exactly. The funniest thing to me wasn't even like a thing in the movie, really. It was like a meta thing about the movie, which was the white guy clearly was supposed to be Robin Williams. Like, he's doing a Robin Williams voice and shtick the entire movie. I'm like, they very obviously want to cast that guy and were not able to get him, which is very funny to me.
The costumes guy. I totally agree with Tanner. He brought this up to me previously, and I fucking see it. Like, if he was just subbed out with Robin Williams, I think it'd be a better movie for it. He literally just feels like he's acting like Robin Williams.
Oh, you were talking about the Will Smith's partner. I thought you were talking about the wheelchair guy.
No, that would be funny having Robin Williams as the fucking spider villain.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny, dude. That'd be awesome.
But yeah, the problem really is just like, I didn't think it was that funny, and then like a lot of the jokes, I'm like, this is just gross and humiliating. Why are we doing this to people?
I don't know.
Why is the lap dance scene with Will Smith so long?
This movie in general does just feel a bit too long.
Yeah, it feels like it had a lot of cutaway gags with Family Guy, except they go on too long. It's kind of like the Cleveland Show in that regard.
Yeah.
Is it because he's black?
No. It's because their cutaway gags go on for way too long.
I love the Will Smith inspired music. I think it's really funny because usually movies that Will Smith is in, he makes songs specifically for like the credits or just the movie in general. He only did it for a few select ones. I only know 2 off the top of my head, but they're there. Anyway, go on.
Hi, Dylan. Why do you like this movie so much?
Dude, I thought it... I agree with Jackson and Nico, and it probably worked on me more in that regard, but I like how this movie was just goofy and silly and how much it leaned into it. It didn't take itself super seriously. Some, like, not all the comedy landed super hard with me, but it landed enough for me to enjoy the movie, and I enjoy, Will Smith movies usually in general. I think all the character interactions were perfectly fine, and I just liked the goofiness and silliness of this movie, dude. I like how the... Salma Hayek, though, I'm kind of confused about her inclusion in this movie. I think they just wanted some damsel in distress situation, and they had to make it fucking Salma Hayek because, why not? Because she's attractive. But, like, yeah, and I agree with Jackson. I didn't think the CGI was bad, but it was, shocking for the time period, so I thought it was pretty well done. And I just, as far as acting even goes, I always just think, in general, Will Smith is a good actor. I didn't get the whole Robin Williams thing you were saying, obviously. I thought the guy who was playing the inventor, Inspector Gadget guy, was fine. I didn't see anything wrong with that. But, this was also just another one of those movies where I was like, I like movies. I thought it was fun to watch. I don't know. This movie didn't feel like it had to be super serious. So, therefore, I didn't take it super seriously, which allowed me to enjoy it more.
I mean, this movie isn't taking itself seriously at all. I think the big thing with Tanner here is that if he doesn't find the comedy funny, there really isn't a whole lot to go on with this movie. It's just some fucking dog shit.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. So yeah, I mean, it's like you guys always say, it's whether or not the movie worked on you or not, and it just didn't work on Tanner. So I'm not going to sit here and try to convince him. I just think, personally, I thought it was a fun, silly, entertaining movie, and that's just me.
Speaking of the damsel in distress thing, I do like that she just says "get fucked" and goes and hangs out with her husband right at the very end. I thought, honestly, I did enjoy that because she is She's like fucking leaning towards Will Smith a lot outside of the other guy, and they have a whole rivalry going for it. And I do think it's funny that they kind of subvert your expectation that she's gonna fucking end up with Will at the end, but no, she's just like, yeah, no, I've got a fucking husband. Later, guys. I was just using you this entire time. Pretty funny.
You know, valid on her part, but like also, it's almost. I think they even leaned into the bit of like how useless she actually was. Like, she provided some, like, information, but even the information was like, oh, yeah, I think I heard something about this other thing that I think they said this. And then they kind of just took that information and somehow came to the solution that they needed. So, yeah, and that kind of goes along with the goofiness and silliness and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that helped add to it. But I don't really have anything more particular to say about this movie.
I think that's all any of us have to say. You guys say first what you're staying at. I need to figure out which of my two ranks I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, I don't think I'm changing my rank. I'm going to keep it at a C-.
Yeah, I think B+ is fair for this movie, to me at least. I also, you know, usually when I look at these movies, I'm like, what would I much rather watch? And that is a determining factor, at least in this point in time. So yeah, I definitely keep it at B+.
I misspoke. I meant C. My initial rank was C. I'm keeping it at C. I didn't mean B+ or C-. Tanner, quick. Nico's still shitting. Say the N-word because he's going to cut this out.
He doesn't have to cut this out. I'm doing my rank. Man, the question is... Wait, are these my ranks?
Is this better than Terminator?
I need to make sure that this is... No, this is... I didn't set it to my ranks. Hold on. I'm just looking at what I have in D- and F+.
Ah.
So do I think... Oh, that's funny. Okay. Do I think this is more on par with Master of Disguise or with Santa Claus Conquers the Martians?
Funny comparison.
Interesting.
I mean... Or maybe it's more accurate to say, like, do I think this is more on par with Click or Master of Disguise?
How the hell do I have Master of...
Dude, Click is a masterpiece, though.
I think Click actually made me laugh at some points as a thing.
And cry, too.
It's really tough. I think for now I'm gonna go F+.
Unfortunate.
Damn. Yeah, I'm sticking with C-.
There we go.
We got a bunch of fucking haters in the crowd today. Can't recognize Peak when they see it. This movie landed at a C overall.
Speaking of not recognizing Peak...
Yeah, we watched my movie this week, and by my movie, I mean the one I picked. I take no claim to this film.
Jackson made it, actually.
Yeah, I was a co-star in it, actually, even though I wasn't born. But this was the 1994 film It's Pat. This is an SNL skit turned full movie where Pat was previously just, as I said, an SNL skit, and they thought it was a good idea to make a whole fucking movie out of it. The whole shtick around Pat is that they are an androgynous weirdo, basically, and the movie is basically just the same fucking joke of, are they a man or a woman? Well, they've got a neighbor that's like stalking them, trying to figure it out. There's some relationship drama with their androgynous partner, and Pat kind of just hops between jobs, and that's basically all the movie is.
Fun fact, Julia Sweeney, who is the actress who portrayed Pat, partially credits the failure of this film with her losing her faith in God.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Speaking of Julia Sweeney, I do think it is funny that both Nico and I were under the presumption that the actor for Pat was a man, because they were like, he's clearly male presenting, and then I looked it up and it was a woman. So like, they got our asses, bro. They fucking got our asses in the end.
Fucking got, you guys have to give it an S now.
Alas, because of that, I'm giving it an F+. Dylan, how about you?
Well, hold on. Tanner, what about you? What did you think Pat
I was going
to
to add on to the fun fact real quick. Funnily enough, I also credit this movie with losing my faith in God. Anyway.
Did you think it was an actor or an actress that played Pat, Tanner?
I think I knew it was Julia Sweeney from the beginning, so...
I didn't know that, but I also figured it was a woman, but you know.
There you go. I'm also sitting at an F+.
I'm also sitting at an F+.
Oh, man, I just can't catch a break this week.
Would you give this movie like a fucking B- or some shit?
I mean, basically, I gave it a C+.
Interesting.
Dylan loved the single recurring joke.
I don't know, I just thought it was a whatever movie. I didn't think it was bad, I didn't think it was good, it was just a movie.
Okay, Nico and Jackson, did you guys laugh once?
I think I maybe chuckled when he just randomly fell down the fucking staircase. I don't think anything else got me.
Fair enough, dude.
I don't think I ever laughed from this film.
The only joke I laughed is when he started running to the boat and Chris is in line for the amount of time it takes him to run across the entire state.
Gotcha.
That was the only joke I laughed at.
I don't know if I can recall laughing ever at this movie.
And yet you gave it a C+.
Like I said, I didn't think it was bad, didn't think it was good. I'm looking at the movies below C+, and I would much rather watch this than those, so I don't really know what to tell you.
Okay, so outside of the fucking most obvious criticism of this movie ever, that it's just repeating the same joke for the entire runtime, which it is.
The same unfunny joke, by the way.
Yeah, it's an unfunny joke. The biggest gripe I have with this movie is that Pat is just a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, they are just a piece of shit this entire fucking movie, and like, they're the main character of this movie. I have no sympathy for this piece of shit. Like, I genuinely want them to fucking rot in hell. They have no redeeming qualities. Even at like the very end, they're still basically just fucking mentally abusing Chris. Like, Chris is a fucking goat, man. They're a great character, honestly. Love them. They're constantly trying to talk some sense into this fucking retard, and it's just not getting through. They're just immediately just flipping it on its head. Chris deserves better than this shit. I cannot believe that we're supposed to be siding with fucking Pat. I mean, I don't think we're actually maybe supposed to, but like, they're such a fucking irredeemably dog shit character. I just don't see what value anybody would get out of this movie, to be completely honest.
Chris does deserve someone better. They deserve me.
True. I want a fucking dude that has tapestries on his wall.
Yeah, I think the only thing that really, I was like, oh, that's hypothetically a funny idea, was the guy becoming obsessed with Pat to the point that he completely ruins his life, but even that, I think they kind of fuck up, so.
Yeah.
The main way I describe this movie is woof.
Nico and I watched this we watched this movie right after Wild Wild West, and it was pretty late at night. We were both just sitting there fucking zonked, like, can this movie end? Like, I look over at Nico in the darkness while we're watching this shit, and he just looked so fucking out of it, and it is...
This movie isn't particularly long either, but it feels really long.
It feels insanely long.
I kept checking the time while we were watching the movie, and I was like, oh my god, we still have like half an hour left. Oh my god.
I think I believe I paused it at like 30 minutes, and I'm like, what the fuck? There's still 45 minutes left on this? How? Yeah, I don't know. Do we have any other thoughts other than, this is a dog shit movie, don't watch it?
This is a comedy and it's not funny. It has unfortunately triggered our trap card.
SNL is not funny and it has never been funny, apparently.
Damn.
Is this the only SNL film we've seen so far?
Probably. Oh, no, you know what? They made Cuties, that's right.
Oh, okay.
That's a good joke, Dylan. I like that one.
I'm glad, because I just picked a random movie.
Speaking of Dylan...
Oh.
So, like, what are your positives for this film?
I can't verify my rank anymore. I'm trying to figure out where I want to replace it.
Okay.
I'm working hard and researching, boys. Don't you worry. While you were talking that whole time, I was absorbing your review and looking at my list. And, I dove a little deeper than fucking C and C minus. And then I was like, well, actually, I probably want to watch these movies more than this one. And I kept saying that. I kept scrolling down. So yeah, I'm coming to a final conclusion here in a minute.
Yay.
Well, while you're working at that, I'm sticking with an F+.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, same here. This movie's pretty irredeemable. It's just a really bad time.
Was Master of Disguise an SNL movie?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I will say one thing, though. People really... throw eggs at this film for being, transphobic or whatever. I don't think it is. Pat is very clearly not a trans character. Pat has a gender. They just don't want to say what it is.
Yeah, that's the whole bit. They're not trying to identify something they're not. They just don't outwardly say what they are, and that's the whole fucking joke. People are just being sensitive about it for no reason.
Yeah. It's still not a good movie. You can say many other things about it. I just don't think it's transphobic.
It'd be funnier if Pat was trans and it was just being wildly offensive.
Yeah.
True. I was gonna pose the joke, Pat the movie based or woke, but I missed my boat. So, oh wait, no pun intended. Anyway, yeah, fuck it. I'll give it an F+ too. Why not? Fucking get it out of here. Yippee! I think the only logic I have to go off of here is, yeah, it was a comedy that wasn't funny.
It was Pat.
Sure.
Oh, it was Pat.
I agree, I guess.
I'm glad that's past tense.
I didn't realize that Ween was an actual band. Like, I was reading up some stuff about this movie after the fact, and people were like, I can't believe they got Ween in this movie. And I was like, huh? And I looked it up, and yeah, they're an actual fucking band. They're not just like some shit that was made up for the movie, which I thought was funny.
Okay, that was one joke that kind of got me as well. Like, Ween, which on the surface level appears to be some kind of punk band, and then they start playing it's like fucking like soft singer-songwriter bullshit.
I will agree. I did think that was funny. I didn't fucking laugh or anything, but I do like the dichotomy. You think they're going to be playing some fucking like 90s emo shit, and then they just start playing some like generic fucking pop stuff, and people are like putting their lighters in the air and waving at some shit like that.
Yeah.
That part did get me. I thought the more ironic part of that introduction was that they were a band named Ween in an androgynous person's movie.
Now I don't find the joke funny because Dylan said that.
God damn it, I did it again.
Guys, guess what the movie landed at?
D+?
F-?
Wrong, it's actually F-.
Holy shit, I got it right.
It slipped and fell down the stairs, you know how it is. It broke its nuts.
God damn it.
Man, that's our first F tier in a while, right?
Probably?
I feel like, no, Super Croc landed at F tier, and that wasn't super long ago.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Speaking of F- tier films, though, I can't wait to hear what Tanner's got cooking up for us this week.
Dude, this week I am picking the 2011 movie Shame.
No way.
Interesting. I have plenty of that, I think.
I think you'll find this movie very relatable, Dylan.
Holy shit.
All right. So here's something I've never done before. I'm going to be pitching my pick to you guys. Here's how this is going to work. You are either going to be choosing between a film on my list or one that isn't on my list. It's just that easy. Which one do you guys want to see?
How does not being on your list... Anyway.
What's the criteria of making it to your list? Is it just something you want to watch, or is it...
Dude, kind of.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out how you pick a movie not on your... Do you just have a...
I know more movies than are on my list, Dylan.
Fuck it, I'll make you think. I choose not list.
Okay.
I choose list.
I'm gonna say list. I feel like we got a better chance of getting something good that way.
That's very true. If you guys chose not on my list, I was going to pick God's Not Dead.
That's fun.
Yeah, so I thought that was going to be a very funny dichotomy to Heretic. So we are instead going to be watching the 1993 film Falling Down.
Dude, I think I've heard of that.
This is the fourth film on my list. It has been on here for a very long time.
Dude, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, sometimes I wish I didn't do the random number generator.
And that's for our Patreon pick, though. What do we got cooking there, Jackson?
Yeah, this week we are watching the 1996 film Happy Gilmore, as requested by our lovely Patreon, Annette Gant. Thank you again for the request. Appreciate it.
There we go.
Oh, Falling Down is fucking this movie. I'm hyped for this one, actually.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see it for a while now. And if you, too, would like to request a movie just like Tanner's girlfriend did, then Dylan's going to tell you about how you can do that.
All right, guys, buckle in. So if you subscribe to our Patreon for just $1 a month by either going to guapish.com/Patreon or patreon.com/Guapish, you get access to our Discord, where you get to request topics and movies, much like Annette Gant did. You get to talk to us. You know, we're a pretty lively bunch, I think. You get 500 slime coins. You get early access to the podcast whenever it goes up. You get access to our pre-guap, which is a show that goes on before the show. And you get your name read out at the end of every episode, just like GH, Slayed by Jay, Blake, Netagant, I Love Lesbians, Top Ramen Man, Cum Guzzling Cum Guzzler, I Guzzle Cum, Tutbot, Lucas Ledette, Hunter, and Jacob Edwards. Thank you guys all so much for your $1
That's right. Thank you very much, everybody. As always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, or ring-a-ding that bell. We'll be seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.